right, here we go. It's a party.
And you get me to stop talking.
Oh.
Maybe elementary's not for me.
You're going to be smart. I'm still waiting on it.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Happy Doodle and Chat.
Yes, happy Doodle and Chat.
I'm so excited for today. How was your week?
My week was good. We had a full week of school, no snow days. So
is it
that
the first
was
one since no, there's been more since January, right?
I think we've only had one other full week.
Okay.
Since we came back from winter break. So the week before we were only there one day. This week we were there every day. And then I had an event that I had to supervise yesterday. And I was there from 2 until 12:30 this morning.
Wow.
So yes, it was quite the lengthy event. But it's good to be back and have a full week of school, kind of get things rolling again. So
kind of back to the normal. Yes.
Yeah. How about you?
Good. We ended February, so that's always interesting, right? February just seems to like whoosh right out.
It does.
It was a hard February, but it's better now, and things are kind of slowed down in the classroom, which is always a relief. When you have time to go to your whenever list, I feel like that's a huge milestone in a teacher's list. If you get to the point of the year where you're like, you're not doing your daily list, you're like your whenever list.
Yeah.
So like I put up the title to my game, and my students are like, "Oh my gosh, Mrs. Baughcum, that looks so awesome!" I'm like, "Yeah, this has been on my list since August. It's done.
That's
now.
Great.
The game's been going all year, but the title is
up. The title up, yeah.
Title is up.
Okay.
I was like, little wins. Check off the list.
That's right. Well, we also have a pretty incredible guest that we have tonight, and I'm excited to talk about this guest. So she is an elementary educator spending over 25 years of her career in the second grade classroom, which kudos to her. She advocates for all students to have enriching experiences with their peers in the classroom. She's the author of the interactive book ABBS, which stands for Ability, Brave, Beautiful, Smart, a story about a rainbow-born square who tries to change who they are to please others. I'm very excited to doodle and chat all about Melisa Hayes today.
Me too. Here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Of course. I can't wait to share with the world more about you. I mean, like people, who are connected with you know you, but like I can't wait for other people to see how special you are as a person and as an educator. So we're very excited that you're here with us.
I'm super excited to be invited. Thanks again.
Of course. So I know Melisa knows, and for anybody who's joining us, we have with us the Bowl That Knows that has very special questions written just for Melisa, as well as a few random ones that even Mandi and I don't know. And we call it the Bowl That Knows because it seems to always give us just the right question at just the right time during our Doodle and Chat experience, I guess I should say. So we're going to turn our cameras on, pull from the Bowl That Knows, and doodle and chat all about Melisa Hayes today. Here we go. All right. Oh my gosh, look at the little name. You did it in a rainbow, Mandi.
Well, because you have to. It's a rainbow square.
I love it. It's so cute. So cute. All right, here we go, Melisa.
Okay.
You do not need to change who you are. You were born just the way you were supposed to be. Why is that message an important part of your children's book, ABBS?
Oh, wow. It's a personal message because it's about my daughter. She has Down syndrome. And when she was little, she used to draw a square rainbow. In elementary school, she had many friends. But she also had some obstacles and some amazing teachers, but teachers who didn't understand that all ability should be celebrated and that no matter the ability, you can modify and be successful. So a lot of times she was asked to get something from the cart instead of doing what the other kids did. It just might look a little different. So it's so important to celebrate every child of how they were born to be, because they need to know how amazingly beautiful they are and that the sky's the limit.
I love that. I feel like it's, unfortunately, and I teach special ed, but I feel like it's just a timeless reminder. I say unfortunately, because you'd think that in 2024 we wouldn't need to remind people that that to get to the finish line, it doesn't need to look the same, right? That everybody can get to the same finish line. I think that's what you were kind of getting towards, right?
Yeah.
But that we just need to find ways to let students get to the finish line their way. And you'd think that we don't need reminders, but I think it continues to be a timeless reminder for all people to know.
I agree. I also think that teachers don't, to be devil's advocate and to look at both sides, it's not necessarily their fault. They have a lot of curriculum to do. They have 27 kids, the higher levels, they have 50, 60, 100, 120, depending. And they look to spec ed and assistants to help modify or reduce work or make sure that child is successful. But I think a lot of times the line is blurred, and especially in elementary school, because if that child is in your classroom, that's your baby. No matter if they go to another room for reading, writing, or math, they're still your kid. And it's your job to make them be a part of the family and make sure their work is put up in the hall and make sure they start doing different projects with the kids, no matter what they're learning. So
I love that. Yeah. Agreed. Do you find Abby's I shouldn't say that. Your experiences with being her mother, do you find that the experiences you've had with her as your child and also being her mother, do you find those experiences rolling into your classroom and helping you be a better educator?
Oh, absolutely. I think before I had a child with a different ability, I think I was very aware, but after having a child with a different ability, I'm like I was 50 to 60%, and now I'm like 99%. It's just a weird, I don't know. I hate to say this, but it's like a come to Jesus moment. Like it's a slap in the face. Like, I'm so sorry that I didn't realize sooner that I should have done better. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm advocating for her and all the other kids with different abilities more so than what I used to.
Yeah. I think that happens to a lot of us when we have our own children, no matter what their ability level are, it just gives you a differing perspective for the children in your classroom.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. You have taught second grade for over 25 years. What would most people be surprised to know about teaching second grade? I can't wait to hear about this, because even I want to know what I would be surprised about.
It is the most amazing grade. And when I say this, I truly mean it. Like, people come to me and go, oh, so, how much longer do you have to retire? And I'm like, I have no idea. I absolutely love what I do and what I get blessed to do every single day. We have so much fun. And my philosophy is, if it's boring, I either try to make it interesting or we probably won't do it. And I ask for forgiveness later. There's a lot of games that we play, a lot of breaks that we do. It's just so much fun. We have classroom transformations. We have mystery Zooms. It's just such a fun age. They're so innocent and they absorb so much. It's like a sponge. And no matter the ability level, they're absorbing. No matter if they only speak like Spanish. I have I have had kids that like this year that have only spoken Spanish. I had a kid probably 15 years ago only spoke Russian.
Oh, wow.
And you would be surprised at the end of the year, they're saying sentences and paragraphs and they have just taken off. But I just feel like second grade is such an amazing grade because they're so innocent, yet they're so inquisitive. Their mind is a sponge and they're just absorbing so much, yet they want to please me so much and they're so respectful and the parents are amazing. I know I get here and there, I get some parents, but my philosophy is that every kid and every parent is fighting a battle we know nothing about. So to have grace and understanding and patience is huge. But I love second grade. It's like a jackpot.
I had one of my, because I have an elementary degree and then I also have a secondary degree. And I had one of my experiences in a second grade classroom and loved creating those learning experiences that you're talking about. But one day my cooperating teacher came in and I created this great lesson. I was so excited. We were learning about contractions and I had my wizard's hat and we were pulling out the contraction. And when you opened it up, you could see the whole word, like created this whole thing. We got done and the lady looks at me and she says, "You have scary eyes." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And like, here I'm thinking she's going to be like, "That was a great lesson. You did such a good job." She's like, "You scare them when you look at them." I was like, okay, like, I don't know what I'm doing to be scary. But anyway, so she told me second grade wasn't for me.
Well, when I student taught, I love my professor who came to observe me and everything. But on one of her evaluations is my voice was way too loud. Too loud. So she nicked points off.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I've never heard of that before. So scary eyes, I've never heard that
before.
Right.
She told me I had scary eyes. So I don't know. I never did figure out what the scary eyes were. I have had, because I decided then to just go the high school route. I was like, maybe elementary's not for me. I'm going to be scary. But I have had high school students who will tell me, like, you don't even actually have to yell at us. You just have to look at us a certain way. And we're like, we messed up. So maybe I do have scary eyes. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Scary eyes. So that was my second grade experience. Like I thought I was doing it, and I guess I wasn't. So
I could never do middle school or high school. No way. You couldn't pay me enough money to do that. So kudos to you.
I love my high school kiddos.
I know. So. I think we all think the same about each other's grade levels, right? Yeah, I think I could do, yes. Well, we have a middle school, so I know I could do sixth grade because I love sixth grade. Like the way you describe, I shouldn't say sixth graders are like second graders, but the way you describe second graders, sixth graders are very similar. They're just new and fresh and they still want to please. And then you get into seventh grade and it's just hormone central. It's really a hot mess. And then eighth grade, they just have opinions. I think I could go as high as freshman and then that would be all and done. That's my span. I think all grade levels are just, they have their own level of funky, and every kid is just like, like what you said, Melissa, about fighting their own battle, but like every kid is unique and different just in their own way. Like sometimes I think that my students are just more, they are where they're at, right? They're just their level of, ability levels. And then I'll go into go talk to a gym teacher and watch all the middle schoolers, like 6th graders run around. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're not that far off. It's just kids are kids, right? They're just all different at different times. It's just they're a unique breed of people, right? I guess. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, but they're just, kids are kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yes. And I mean, ultimately, like what you said, even how you started the conversation, we have to meet each of them where they're at. Yeah. And then go from there,
Absolutely.
Yeah. 2nd grade. So fun.
Love it.
Well, and they're just starting to read, right? Or yeah. No.
Well, you have the whole array.
Okay.
The majority are kind of in the middle.
Okay.
But I also teach gifted.
Okay.
So I have the gifted kids, but then I also like to have the kids who might go to the resource room.
Yeah.
So, and technically I'm not supposed to, but I might request them. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a wide range, just like with any teacher. If you teach 3rd grade, you're going to have some maybe at 1st and 2nd and 3rd and maybe 4th. So it's just kind of that big, huge discrepancy. You got to meet the need of where they're at.
Yeah. But I'm sure they're starting to get inquisitive, right? Because the content starts to get more inferential. I know when they get to 3rd grade, so you're at 2nd grade. So things are starting to get curious, and the conversations, I'm sure, are very fun about what they wonder about.
Yes, very much so.
So fun.
Yeah, it is a fun grade, fun age.
Yes, for sure. All right, we have our next. What's that?
I said they definitely say funny things. Like one of the kids, we had a lunch bunch, and he was like, Mrs. Hayes, and I was eating that Smart popcorn.
Uh-huh.
So he goes, you realize if you eat enough of that, you're really going to be smart. And I went, what? Yeah. Didn't you hear about that? You eat enough of it, you're going to be smart. I'm still waiting on it because I was like dying. It was too funny.
You're like, who told you that? And why did they tell you that to eat popcorn?
It was way too funny. Super funny.
Now, that's also something that you would get from a high school student.
Probably.
They would say the exact same thing.
That is so true. Mrs. Dolan, did you see on TikTok? Because they said.
Yep.
TikTok. Yeah, you don't get as much TikTok stuff.
I just imagine that would be Mandi's students' source of information.
Sometimes, yes.
All right, we have our next question.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. If we came to visit you in Hilliard, Ohio, where would you take us to eat? What would you take us to do? And what would you take us to see?
I think if you came to Hilliard, I would take you to see my classroom and my kids.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
Just run and give you all their germs because they've been sick.
Oh my gosh, so bad in my school too. It's just bad.
Yeah, it's horrible. And I think to eat, there's a cute little Mexican restaurant that's like 5 minutes from my school that has amazing tacos.
Yum. So
we would probably eat there. And then there's a milkshake place, but it's not in Hilliard. It's in Columbus, the capital. But it's called Shake 8. And it is like these gourmet milkshakes that have like candy bars in them. And they're sky high. And you can get like a cotton candy one. And the cotton candy's like attached to it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. The mint is what I get every year. I go there for my birthday and it's so yummy. And then what was the other question? Eat.
What would you take us to see?
To see.
Or like to do?
Oh, to do. Probably take you to the zoo.
Oh, yeah.
The zoo. And it's like the best, I would say, in Ohio.
Is it the Cincinnati one?
No, it's the Columbus Zoo. I think it's
okay.
Cincinnati. It's huge. And it has like it keeps building onto it. So it's like it has an Africa and it has North America and it even has rides inside it. And then there's a water park attached to it.
Wow.
And it's like you could probably get 5 miles in that zoo easy. But it has an aquarium. It's huge. And my oldest daughter used to work there.
Oh, fun.
So yeah, we'd always get there, and she doesn't anymore, but it's a really huge zoo and it's pretty big. It's pretty neat. Probably take you there.
Fun.
Yeah. Ohio is a pretty interesting place to visit.
Yes. Because there's just a variety of things, or is there something in particular that makes you say that?
There's just a variety of things to do, but if you ever came to Ohio, you would need your raincoats, your scarf, gloves, and hats, your flip-flops and shorts, a tank top, galoshes, ski and snowsuit. You would need all the seasons because you don't know when you're going to have snow and rain and sun, and it doesn't matter the season because you look up Ohio and the weather, it's just a hot mess. So that's the only downfall to Ohio, the weather.
It's like living in Missouri.
Yeah, well, I feel like nowadays, like with everything that's going on, the weather is just like
crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you live, Texas or like it's just crazy, the weather.
Yep, agreed.
Where are you guys at?
So I am just north of Kansas City in Missouri.
Okay.
And I am northwest suburbs of Chicago.
Oh, so you get really bad winter, right?
Well, sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. It depends on, I guess, what the weather decides it's going to be. Like this last week, it's been like 60 for a week, which is just going to be painful when it's cold again, because I'd rather it just stay winter the whole time and not give us any of this teasingness.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So we also had 60s the week before, and then Saturday the high was like 40. And then everybody was like, it's cold. I'm like, you remember last week it was negative 24.
Yeah.
So we're gonna need to not talk about it. So yeah, the week before we had the temperature was 12 below, the wind chill was 24 below. And then the very next week we're in the 60s.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think last week we had a day where it was like 50s. And then yesterday and today we woke up and it was like 11 degrees.
Yeah.
So, and then I think this week it's supposed to be 40s and maybe 50s, but then we're getting rain. So,
yeah, I think you always get our weather. So yeah, you got some nice warm weather coming to you.
Yeah.
And rain. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I do miss like the traditional winters, like just, couple snow days, like real snow days, not teaching online.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just a couple of snow days, maybe a cold day. And then, just, I don't mind the cold. I don't mind the snow either. So I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be the same as it used to be, but what can you do?
Yeah.
Warming, I guess, or something. Describe your marathon training in 4 words.
Describe my marathon training in 4 words.
Because you are a runner, right?
Yes.
And you have trained for many marathons, yes.
Persistence.
Okay.
Exhaustion. Grace. And determination.
Love it. So is training for a marathon something that you're doing right now? Because I know you like to stay active, right?
Yes. So I've never done a full marathon.
Okay.
I've done three half marathons. And I'm training again because my brother and we did a half marathon last year, and we're doing one again this year. And it's through the Air Force, so he's a retired Air Force.
Okay.
He's doing the full, and I signed up for the 10K, which I might flip over to the half, but I have a partial knee replacement. So the last half marathon I wasn't really supposed to do, but I did it, and I felt really good. So I was thinking, if the weather ever gets nice, because I hate the treadmill. I hate running inside. It's the worst. Oh, it's horrible. So I'm hoping when the weather gets nice, I can just start running. And if I get in a groove and I'm liking how I do, I can switch over to the half marathon. But even though I train, I am not this hardcore runner. I call myself a recreational runner, in the sense of I run and go, oh, look at that porch. It's so cute with all those little things on it. Or I look at things and I rarely look at time, or, I'm like, oh, I got to get this under a minute or blah, blah, blah. I just go kind of like that, Big Bang Theory, where she goes, I run until I see place to eat and grab a bear claw. So I'm just kind of like, I go until, and I'm just like, it's all kind of recreational, but it helps me think too. So when I run, I feel like my mind is more open, and a lot of ideas come to me when I run, different games or things that I want to do in the classroom, and I'm not sure how I want to do it, or ideas of engagement that maybe the lesson is super boring and they're going to snore all over the place, so I got to jazz it up. So I get a lot of my ideas when I run.
I love it. Are you good, Mandi?
Yep.
What is the best kind of food for a food fight? This is one of our random questions.
Oh, the best kind of food for a food fight. Probably, is it like desserty food? Or
I guess whatever you want, right?
Well, okay. Spaghetti would probably be the best.
Yes.
I would say, with meatballs.
I love it. Do you have a favorite food, Melisa?
I love pizza.
Me too.
I could probably eat that every day, but I also like tacos.
Agreed.
So, I don't know. I'm not a huge picky eater, other than I don't do veggies. I'm not a veggie eater.
I don't think I've ever done a meatball before. I don't know why it seems harder than it should be. Man, the spaghetti would just stick everywhere, wouldn't it?
It would. And the sauce would be
all over. It would stain. That's so true.
What are your guys' favorite food?
I do like tacos. I like trying like different kinds of tacos,
Yeah.
I would go with you. Yeah, pizza's a good one too. Well, I really have like a go-to. It depends on the mood I'm in, I'm not really a picky eater also.
Yeah.
I'm a picky eater, and I also have a lot of food allergies, so that really limits everything. But favorite food of all time, anything Mexican food, Like I love, that's probably my favorite food category. I also like smoked foods. Those are usually two pretty safe options for me to eat. my favorite all-time anything is my coffee. Like I would.
That's true.
I love coffee too. Yes. Is it just black coffee or the gourmet kind of coffee or?
So I like, I'm really particular about my coffee because I do actually like to drink my coffee black or with just a little bit of like unsweetened creamer in it. I have like an almond coconut milk creamer that I use that doesn't have any sugar in it. So I like my coffee to be really good so that you don't necessarily have to have it with all the stuff in it. So.
Are you a coffee drinker, Melisa?
Well, I'm the complete opposite of Mandi. I don't want it to taste like coffee.
I get it.
I love like cold brew, but like caramel. Like I like sweet. I have a huge sweet tooth, so I like it to be sweet. So yeah.
Gotcha. I think I'm having more fun than I should be with drawing noodles all over my page. Trying to make them stick places. Let's see how that goes. It's kind of random right now. My sauces didn't turn out the way I wanted them to, but that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Is this one? Yes. You were once quoted as saying, I work with first graders in Mrs. Crow's class at Salisbury Elementary. I enjoyed the experience with the children, and I feel it had a positive effect on both the children and myself. When did you know that you wanted to be a teacher?
That was so long ago.
The internet is a wonderful place, Melisa.
Wow. I would say that I knew, and this is probably like people say this all the time, but I think I knew in elementary school that I really wanted to be a teacher. And I think it was the opposite. Like I did have a really great teacher, Mrs. Evans, but I think with all of the years I had with other teachers, not that they were bad, but that, you know, you sit in those archaic desks in rows, you weren't allowed to talk, you couldn't move. Actually, in first grade, I had my own corner because I would not shut up. Like I constantly talked and she would go, Missy, get to your corner. And I go, okay. So I go to my corner and I'd stand there forever. But I think it was just the fact that I wanted it to change and I got a taste of what Mrs. Evans did. And I thought it was so amazing to give kids the empowerment and the choice and make learning fun. It shouldn't be a huge issue for a kid to come to school. And it's my job as a second grade teacher to instill in them a love of learning and for them to get out of the car or the bus and be like, oh, I'm so excited. Wonder what we're going to do today. What's the room going to look like? Who are we going to see today? What awesome activities are we going to do? Because they only get 1 year in second grade. And it's my job to make it the most memorable, fun year that they have. So I think I knew just from the other experiences in elementary school that I wanted to be a teacher. I wasn't sure the grade though. And then when I got to high school, I was like, oh yeah, there's no way I'm doing middle and high. It's going to be little kids. And so I started like in college when I did my clinicals, like all through college, I am not this, oh, I look at it when I look at this and I just know it. I never got straight A's. I, would get on the honor roll every so often, maybe in elementary school. Middle and high was nowhere near. I played sports. It was all about the sports for me. Softball was the main sport. And then other sports I played just because I was bored and I just wanted to socialize. But college was the same way until I got into my clinicals and teaching. And it was, Dean's List every time. Because the other stuff like Russian and like how is that helpful? But I think in high school, middle school, and when I went to college, I knew it was going to be littles that I wanted. And then when I did like first grade and kindergarten, I was like, whoa, this is probably not for me. I have some patience, but I don't think I have enough patience for that. And then the second grade, I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is the grade I want. And I just so happened to do my student teaching in elementary school in second grade. And then I did a long term in fifth grade, which was interesting because it was like a spirit week, and there was like a substitute in that middle school building, and they actually yelled at me to go back to class. And I'm like, what? And the kids were all laughing, but no one said anything. And I just turned around and went back to my classroom. She didn't know, but it was pretty funny. But I don't think, I mean, everyone says if you switch grades, it's the most amazing thing. You know, you never know if you don't, love it until you get moved. But my philosophy is if you are constantly evolving and you love what you do and the kids are learning and the parents are enjoying you and they're appreciative of what you do, then why would you move someone? So I just love second. Now I say this, and next year I'll probably be moved to a different grade.
I would doubt that would happen for you, but.
So yeah, I love second. It's just great.
I mean, there's something to be said about teaching the same grade level over and over again. Like there's an expertise that you get in the, their developmental skills and the curriculum, and it's just, there's something to be said about just being really good at one grade level too. So.
Well, and when social media was great.
Yes.
And you used to collaborate with educators and build each other up and share ideas. It was such a wealth of, like, I got so much out of it. I've learned so much from you, from so many others that have been on social. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Now it's just, I mean, people are moving around and stuff, but it's just so great to learn new strategies and new like opportunities to do in the classroom that you just mix it up, and people think, oh, 26 years, but you're not doing the same thing. You might be doing some of the same things that have worked and then just kind of jazz it up as it pertains to your kids each year.
Right.
But it's, yeah, I love second. It's great.
Yeah. No, I think, and I think if you're doing education right, you're not doing the same thing for 25 years.
You'd be surprised.
Well, that is true. I would argue that you shouldn't be. I think all three of us would argue that, but that you do bring a good point to that too. There are people that, yeah.
So
I do think too, like, one of the things that was really fun about the connections that we had back when social media was more accessible for all of us was the ability to like gain ideas and, strategies from grade levels that weren't your own. Like, so just because Melissa's doing it in second grade doesn't mean it's not applicable in middle school, because it's good. It's just good teaching, right? Or Mandi has an idea that she's using with notebooks or something like that. Doesn't mean it's not applicable in second grade, even though she's a high school teacher. It's just, there's a lot that we can learn from each other, even if we don't teach the same grade levels.
Absolutely. Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah. I think I have a room for like one or two more. Mandi, what do you think?
Yep, I can do that.
All right. Melissa's just stuck with us, so she doesn't get to really have a say.
That's okay. I'm having fun.
Good. What is the best and hardest part about being a mother?
The best part about being a mom is seeing your kids laugh and light up and love on you and try new things and explore and succeed. It's probably the best thing.
Agreed.
And what was the other part?
The hardest. The hardest.
I think the hardest thing is seeing your child hurt on the inside. Hurting on the outside is very hard, but the inside, where you just can't kiss their boo-boos or, fix them up, takes a lot longer. Especially if they're older, it's that much more difficult. Being their advocate being that voice for them, fighting for them is huge.
Yeah.
And it's hard when your kids grow up, because mine are growing up and it just stinks.
Yeah. How old is your oldest now? Is she already almost done with college?
He just turned 22. So
wow.
She graduates this summer with a social work degree and a minor in psych.
Nice. So what does she hope to pursue or do with her degree?
She wants to work in a prison.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's she really likes kids. So juvenile detention centers is what she would like to do. And then I just went to her ball game on Saturday. She coaches 6 and 7-year-olds. Or maybe it's 5 and 6-year-olds basketball. And oh my goodness, they were the cutest, most adorable kids. And she was just great watching her coach. But she's just turned 22, and Abby will be 18 in August.
Wonderful. So will Abby graduate eventually, or are you going to have her do extended? Like, is she going to do post academic or post?
She was retained in preschool, so she won't graduate until next year.
Okay.
But I'm going to have her graduate with the peers she came in with in elementary school. And then I've toured a couple of programs. So I don't know about in Chicago and I think you said Missouri, right, yeah. Mandi? I don't know what the program entails there, but there's one that's like All Our Friends, and it's very much school-based, where they have a lot of aides, and it's very school-oriented. They teach them how to brush their teeth and eat, and they do all these life skills. I do not want that, because Abby is very high functioning. She can pick her lunch, pick out her clothes, give her a week, and she knows the schedule, and she can follow a routine. I mean, even though cognitively she's a kindergarten level, she could sit in a junior class, sit there the whole time and not say a word. Now, she won't gain anything, but she can sit there and not say a word and just follow along. So I consider that high functioning. So a couple of places I saw were very great that had, it was like a college setting where they would have courses each semester, and she would pick what she wants. And then they had another thing that's called open night, and it's all artsy. So she would go there from like 9 to 3, and she could clay and paint and draw. And then they sell those in an art show. And then she would get some of the portions of that, and the rest would go to the facility. So that was really cool too. So I know she wants to get a job. So there's a couple things going on. So.
That's awesome. Yeah. Some of the colleges are really doing good work, providing like alternative experiences for students that are just really wonderful with living away, you know, like some of them are really doing good work out there for sure.
Yeah.
We started this year an 18 to 21 program at my high school. And there are technically there's kind of 3 different tracks, but 2 main tracks that students can go on. So the students who need those life skills, they have a situation where they can come and they can get the skills that they need, basically kind of a continuation from the functional program that they were already in. But then we have a work and job skills portion of it, where of a morning they're working on, what are those skills that you would need to interact with the public, or whatever their goal is, whatever job they want. And then in the afternoon, they take them to places where they can get on the job experiences with it. So awesome. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Abby has that too. She worked at Rusty Bucket thrift store. I think now she works for the food pantry. She was at the library.
That's awesome.
And they do like a coffee thing in the school. So she'll take orders and all that stuff with the coffee, and she likes it too. So yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is neat. Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
It's good when they do it well, you know?
Yeah. That is true.
Oh, I couldn't think of a better one to end with, Melissa. Whether it was high school basketball, band, softball, or all Mid-Ohio Conference women's softball team, what impact did being part of a team and being involved in your school activities have on you?
Did you research me?
Yes, we did. I live and breathe our guests for a whole week. I got to, like I told you, the interwebs. People have no idea what yearbooks are on the internet.
That's scary. I would say softball was the best and most memorable and the most amazing. Just my parents coached me when I was little and a bunch of my friends. And I'm from Rutland, which is a population of like 100. I mean, it's so small. We don't even have a gas station. Wow. We barely have a pizza place, which is an amazing pizza place. But they coached me when I was little. I played softball all the way up till high school. And then in college, I walked on the college team and made it and got my first Grand Slam when I was a freshman.
Awesome.
So, I mean, I love softball. It's just an amazing sport, and I was good at it, and it built my confidence more, and I was disciplined. I met the most amazing people in both high school and college that I still talk to this day. I had amazing coaches. Yeah, I would say softball. Definitely softball. Basketball was okay. And cross country, I only did it because I was bored. And when I would run, you would run in the woods. Once I got to the woods, I started walking because nobody was around. Then once I hit the opening, I would run and sprint like I was running forever. And my parents would go, "Good job, Melissa. We saw you walking in the woods." I only did it because my friends did it and I was bored. I had to do something. I'm always on the go. So, and then I was like, oh, I don't ever want to do that again. And then I ended up doing it again just because I was bored. And band was fun too, but I think softball was the ultimate most favorite. And it is to this day. Like I played intramurals or co-ed softball like maybe 5 years ago. And my daughter played travel and high school ball. So
those are fun memories.
Yeah, it is fun. Met a lot of amazing people.
That's awesome. So we're going to zoom in on our drawings just to give everybody a little show of what we talked about. I got my square wrong, but that's okay. I'll edit it. I took it literally as a square rainbow. And then I started to remember as I was seeing Mandi's, I was like, oh, it's a square. Like it has square edges, and that's okay. Oh, look at the spaghetti.
Yep. Spaghetti meatballs.
Love it.
That's awesome. I like that you put best laugh. Well, Mandi, she does have a good laugh.
Oh, goodness.
I also could not put Missy's Corner in here. I also got in trouble a lot for talking too much.
Same.
We should have all been in the same class. Wouldn't that have been funny?
Oh, the teacher never would have got a word in edgewise. Were you a talker too, Mandi?
Yes.
Oh.
So, and I am old enough that you could still like harm children when I was in elementary school. And so my third grade teacher had one of those giant class rings, and he would flip it around and smack me on top of the head with it to get me to stop talking.
Oh my God.
It didn't work. I still talked. But,
oh my goodness.
But I would get whacked on the head often by that class ring.
My elementary school principal had a paddle. I never got paddle, but there was one hanging on his wall, proudly behind him.
Yeah.
We had a paddle too.
Back in the day.
I unfortunately did get paddled once, but I will tell you it was really not my fault. So I had a kid who on a spelling test was trying to cheat off of me, and they kept asking me. And I finally looked at him and said, "Stop asking." And then the teacher was like, "You're cheating on your test." I'm like, literally was telling this kid not to cheat off of me. I was the one that got in trouble.
You got paddled?
I did.
How?
1st grade.
Oh my God.
So did you get paddled at home too?
Well, I told my mom what happened because that was their rule. If you got paddled at school, you got paddled at home. Yeah. And I told my mom the story. And thankfully she believed me because it was the truth. Like, and if you knew me as a child, like I wasn't letting people cheat off me. Like that is 100% true. I'm not giving somebody answers. You're going to figure it out yourself. And my mom knew enough about me to know that I wasn't giving people answers. So thankfully I didn't get in trouble at home.
Oh my goodness.
That is so funny. Well, friends, if you were here with us and you joined us and you drew along with us, snap a picture of your Doodle and Chat and share it out on your favorite social media platform using hashtag Doodle and Chat so we can see all the fun that you had with us here on this episode. And then be sure to check our social medias for our giveaway. We're going to give away ABBS, Ability, Brave, Smart, or Beautiful and Smart, which is written by Melisa Hayes. I love it. So we'll have that as our giveaway for this episode. And we're just so excited to be able to give that away.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.